Hi guys, it's Ugo and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing my review for the book Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This is it was released in January, the paperback and I think the hardback too, of this year. It's a YA fantasy novel, but before I give you my full opinion, don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe if you like this content and if you like my channel, so it can help me grow even more than I did so far. So I really appreciate if you do that. Now let's go into the review. Lore, it's like I said, a young adult fantasy novel that I will put in the very beginning of a young adult. The story is based on the Greek mythology. We have each 7 years Aegon. Aegon is basically a punish that Zeus put to 7 major gods for a treason that they did. So each 7 years that those gods are turned into mortals, and the bloodlines of the ancient heroes can kill them and reclaim the powers of the gods. Once they've done that, the person who kills the god becomes a new god, and in the next Aegon he's also hunted. And it's been running for around 7 centuries. Our main protagonist is Lore Perseus from the House of Perseus, and she left the Aegon after her family was killed, and she's living in New York, where the next Aegon is gonna happen. And in the beginning of the novel is the first day of the Aegon, and Lore discovers 2 things. First, her old friend from childhood, Castor, is alive, although she thought he was dead, and the goddess Athena asks her for her help because she's in trouble. Although she's far of that, they make some deals. They'll make her go to this Aegon again and to go on this race, on this killing spree. Now, what I thought about the book, I like the concept. This concept is very good. I like the idea of the Aegon, of the bloodlines of the heroes hunting the gods, and you have the old gods versus the new gods, the powers. That sounds really good, but the execution was kind of bad, kind of disappointing. I was expecting much more of this novel and not just what we get. It's a very fast-paced novel. And that is, I think, a down for me, because it's a 7-day book, which means they have 7 days on this book, and every action, it goes fast and fast and fast. You go, for example, they have to go to some place to rescue something. They finish, they have to go to another place, and there is no in-betweens, there is no introspections, there is nothing, and that left to the characters very much one-dimensional. What I thought about the characters were, they had a big trait. Sorry if you hear constructions, I have constructions on my street, and I never know what time I can shoot because it's all day. What I thought about the characters, I was saying, is that they have a major characteristic. One is very angry, one is very good heart, one is very impulsive, and the other traits are very much superficial. Which means what I want to say is that sometimes they have something more, but usually they just have that characteristic, and that really bothered me. I don't know why, but it makes the characters feel very much just one-dimensional. You don't get attached to them, you don't get to know them. I don't know, it felt very much just like random, and I don't know, it lacked a little bit of building on that part. The story progresses in a very interesting way, and one thing that I really hate is, imagine you are going through the story and you start to get invested. You get to a scene where something is almost revealed. That part is like a cliffhanger for the next chapter, and you're like, oh my god, or you get some information that you'll get in the next chapter, so you are, oh my god, I have to know. What the author did was, at least 2 times on those scenes, she puts a flashback of like 6 or 7 pages, which it wasn't needed at the moment, because at the moment, the reader, I felt I was invested on knowing that story, and what she explained on the flashback could be easily come after that scene, or during the scene, has a little bit of introspection, or just a small part, like a break on paragraphs, and you make a small part that is like a flashback. You don't have to break the action, and she does this at least twice, which I remember. And it was really frustrating because I skipped that part. I read the part that I wanted, and then I went back in this case, and I read the flashback, because I was invested to know what I wanted. So yeah, that is one part that I really thought it was, I think, a choice, but it wasn't a choice that I supported in that point. Another thing that really bothered me was there is a part that Lore's friend Miles, and he's like a human, or an unblood as they call, so basically he's not part of the Agon, discovers what's happening, so they have to explain it. The explanation happens outside the book. Miles appears. Oh no, we have to explain. Next chapter. The explanation went, no, we explain everything to Miles, and then, because we need that information, because we don't know what is the Agon, they make him question everything again. I don't know why, like some stupid person who didn't question anything and he didn't understand a word, so we can get the recap. So why doing that if we could have the first conversation, and it will be much more interesting than he making silly questions, and questions just like, oh my god, I'm so traumatized that I have to question again, what are you? Is she a god? Like, please, you could have the first conversation and everything, and this would have been happening. That I think is a writing choice and a writing style, and something that the author decided that I didn't enjoy. I think, I don't know, it's strange that happening, you're questioning the moment, you don't hear a 20 minutes or a half minutes explanation of something, and in the end you're just like, okay, let me do the questions again so you can answer me the same things, because we need something to hear. Overall, it's not a bad book, but it's not a book that is brilliant. The concept is good, but the execution is very poorly. The characters are very poorly written, the scenes, the settings, everything is very much just on the surface, the resolution in the end, I was just like, what? Really? Is this how this gonna end? Characters change minds like this, especially Lore. She has like a swift on personality traits and on beliefs so fast that I was like, okay, I know it passed like 7 days, or at least 2 days since you said that last time, but do you change so fast? The romance was predictable, I think. From the beginning, we know that's what's gonna happen, there's nothing new there. And I think I'm kind of sad, because it was a book that I was expecting, and I was hoping that the concept, which sounds so good, was very well executed, and it wasn't. It was weird. I think that's why I said I think the book is on the downside of YA, on the more near to the middle grade, where sometimes we left things open, we left things unexplained, and not in the top part of the YA new adult, where things start to get more concise, more explained, the characters have multiple dimensions, and that was like a small bummer, because I really wish that I liked this book, but unfortunately it wasn't for me. Yeah, this was my opinion to Lore by Alexandra Bracken. Tell me in the comments if you read this book, if you like it, why did you like it, if you didn't like it, or if you want to read it, if I didn't motivate you to read it. I would love to discuss with you. If you reach us far, don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. We'll have a lot growing in this channel and do the algorithm and all that stuff. Yeah, I post videos every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I see you guys on my next video. Bye.